Okay, let's move on. Okay, aortic hope and aortic athletes. They're this is tomorrow night, right? 13th.
It certainly is.
So there's two people. I know it's so it's Brian Morrell. Is that how you pronounce the last name?
That's how I've been pronouncing it.
Okay, but Carmen David is going to be with him, and Jack Crow. Okay, so tomorrow night at 5 o'clock on the same YouTube channel, they will be on here talking about being an athlete and training. I don't think that everybody that is going to be listening will be training for the New York Marathon, but they're going to give us some more information. So Brian Morrell has been an endurance athlete for 20 plus years, competing in races of all distances. He was diagnosed with an ascending aortic aneurysm in 2020 and had his surgery in 2022. He will run his first marathon post-open heart surgery at the 2024 New York Marathon as part of the John Ritter Foundation, Team Ritter. And I know that Carmen David, she sponsors something that's in Texas every year and has a great turnout, makes a huge donation to us every year for that, and we really appreciate it. I have a marathon story. Before I dissected, before my breast cancer, my husband and I would run. It was just something that we would do together on weekends. And I came home one day from the gym, and I said, I signed us up. This was in September. I said, I signed us up to run the Miami half marathon in March 1st. So on September 1st, I signed us up for March 1st. So we started training, and we trained in snow and ice and all the Under Armour you can imagine. We spent tons of money on Under Armour and gloves, and we had to buy the things to put on the bottom of our shoes so we could run on ice. And then we go to Miami in March in like 95-degree weather, and we weren't smart enough to go early enough to run a couple days in that heat. But we both did really well. And when I told my husband I did this, he said, why? Like, we're not marathon runners. We're just like Saturday warrior runners. And I said, well, I was thinking about it, and I don't remember the last time I was scared. Now, this was before my breast cancer and before dissection. So I've got the scared part down now really well. But this was before the scared part. And I said, I think the last time I was scared was like 25 years ago when we signed paperwork to build a house, and I thought we'd never eat again. So I was like, we need to ramp this up a little bit, and we need to work towards something in our life. So we did that, and we have run like the 5Ks and stuff like that, but we're not doing any more half marathons. So especially in the winter.
Let me get this straight. How many children did you have by this point?
Two. Yeah, and I left them home with my sister. They were in school, and I left them home with my sister. They were like in middle school and high school, and they had a huge blizzard in Maryland, because I remember we couldn't fly back. We had to stay like a couple extra days. Boo-hoo. And my sister never left the house. The kids never left the house. They were like trapped in the house for an entire week while we were in Florida.
Oh, I love the visual of mom and dad coming home. Complete Miami tan.
I couldn't make it home. We couldn't make it home. So the thing I didn't like about the marathon is I'm not a beer runner. I mean, beer runner. I don't run for beer. My husband was fine running for a beer at the end. And they didn't have anything else to drink when I got to the end. And I was so thirsty. They didn't have water or lemonade or anything. So I ate a banana. But I was very disappointed that they didn't have something
hilarious.
For the non-beer drinkers. Even a glass of wine would have done. So,
oh,
but anyway,
that's so good.
That's my marathon story.
What I'm taking away from this is that sometimes if you're married, your wife is going to sign you up to run where the sun is the closest to the earth in the
Yeah.
middle, and you know, and
And
you're gonna have to
let
do
me tell
this.
you, we froze our butts off training. We train 4 or 5 times a day, I mean, during the week, and like for a couple hours on Sunday, Saturday. We took Sundays off. It was so cold. Some of the times that we went out, my ears, like I remember wearing the cloth or like the headband around my ears, and then huge ear muffs because my ears were always cold. My nose was always running. I was so tired of my nose running while I was running that I ended up buying, the old fashioned sweatbands. So I had sweatbands on both arms, run and wipe my nose at the same time. But I don't know how we did it. I don't know. It's a fun memory. I will never do it again, but it was a fun memory.
That's
So,
that's awesome. Velda says, "Good for you, Tammy."
well, now I haven't been on my bike in 5 years, and my husband, we don't. Though I do feel bad because we don't run anymore because I don't run anymore, and he won't run alone. Um, Now he has ridden his bike without me, but he's been saying to me, what we should get you back on your bike. So this past week, he got my bike out, and I was like, I don't know, because it's like you gotta lean over, and it's got that teeny tiny little like thread of a seat that you sit on. It's like a thong. And I'm like, I don't know, Keith. I don't think I have the endurance to do this anymore. So I came out, and he had both bikes on the back of the car, and he's like, we're gonna take the bikes, and we're taking them to the shop, and you're gonna tell the man what you need to be able to ride this bike. So $130 later, I have a new seat, I have new brake pads, and I have a higher handlebar. So we're riding bikes again. So that's good news. So
That's
he's
an
excited about
accomplishment.
that. So